Hi, I'm Jim Riley. Welcome to Salute the Vets. I have a very special guest with me today. We've visited before, Howard Goldson.
Correct.
Thanks so much for taking time with us.
My pleasure,
We appreciate that. What I'd like to do is open up with you talking about your agency, your operation, your business, whatever you want to call it. It is Heart to Heart Companions. Give us a little background.
Okay, Jim, Heart to Heart Companions is a senior companion care agency. So we provide companion care to seniors throughout the area. Our office is actually located in Coxsackie, right on 9W.
Right.
We do cover an area fairly large. We go down to about Kingston, Northern Dutchess County, and all the way up to southern Saratoga.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So it's actually a regional focus.
Correct, correct. But we're headquartered right here in the Hudson Valley, so we're neighbors, and it's great. The agency, well, the reason that we're here today is, and we'll get into this, I'm sure, in a few moments, is to discuss a particular program that we would like to make all of the veterans in the Valley aware of, and the Capital Region as well, which is the Aid and Attendance Benefit program that we have been working quite diligently on for about the past year now. That having been said, people who would like to be in touch with us, I always like to refer them to the website. We have some great things there, including a link to some information on the Aid and Attendance Benefit. The web address, www, of course, and it's heart2heartcompanions.com. And the 2 is the number 2.
Right.
So it's heart, number 2, heart companions, plural.
Now let's go back and let's talk about some of the services you provide, because that's what I'm always interested in. How do you help people? Tell us some of the things that you do.
Well, in general, we're usually contacted overwhelmingly, I would say probably 80% of the time, by family.
Right.
Mom, dad, starting to need a little assistance. These days, family is very spread out or very busy. And although they always want to provide some care as much as they can, they just can't be there all the time.
It's just not possible.
It's just not possible, exactly. So what we do is we fill in, we provide usually certified nursing assistants, although we provide non-medical care, but it's companion care, and we provide that care. We can provide transportation as needed, shopping assistance, meal preparation assistance, some light housekeeping.
Which is real help. See, that's the kind of thing that I feel is so very important, because you do have medical issues, you have those challenges, but we're talking about living your life day to day.
Correct.
And these are the kind of things you can help with.
Correct. And it allows our parents or grandparents to stay at home, which is where we all want to be.
They certainly do want to be there. And that's one of the challenges for family who are supporting them and helping them. You know, the reality is they want to be in their own home, so they have to find assistance and help, and that's what you have.
Exactly, exactly. So, and we can be, a few hours a day on up to round-the-clock care and everything in between. So we like people to just give us a call, chat about what their needs are, and we're looking forward to provide any type of assistance that we can.
It's just so important. I like the idea of having them stay in their home, because, as you get older, the first thing that goes is a driver's license, and you're losing your freedom. And now you're talking about, well, you really shouldn't be in your home any longer. That's got to be a terrifying, frightening thing for the elderly.
Absolutely, absolutely. And although we sometimes provide care in assisted living facilities, because sometimes the companion care,
if that's the way it has to go, you can go that far out. I like that idea as well, because assisted living is a nice alternative when you have to have an alternative.
Correct, exactly. Right. So we're very happy that we're able to provide that, and it's wonderful. The families that we work with are just wonderful people, because we're all concerned about our family. I mean, it's just such a nice organization, a nice group of people to work with, the family.
Yeah, it really is. But I think it's something that, as you look at it, it's a challenging service to provide. But I notice you take great joy in what you do.
I do. I've been for many years a certified senior advisor, and I'm also a certified senior care manager, although my partner, Justine Bedinade, she's the senior certified care manager, and she oversees all of our caregivers, trains them all, Everybody, of course, is an employee of the company, and so we're responsible. All the background checking is done, driver's licenses, insurance, everything is provided. So the kind of things that a family would normally be very concerned about and should be concerned about.
Yeah, it's terribly important.
Right, we take care of that because we all hear the horror stories, oh, we hired this caregiver and the next thing you know, money's missing from the checking account or items are missing from the dresser drawer. Okay, and so we're
You've been
very
through that
careful.
to the point where you know how to be careful.
Absolutely.
All right,
absolutely.
let's get to the focus that we have, which is Salute the Vets.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that program. I think it's important that people understand there are programs out there that somehow we just assume they're not for us, not available to us, and it happens with vets a lot. So tell us about this program.
Okay, well, the aid and attendance pension benefit is a specific benefit that's available to veterans. A couple of qualifications. Veteran has to be at least the age of 65, has had to serve active duty during time of war, so World War II, Korea, Vietnam. Did not have to be in the war zone necessarily.
See, that's an important distinction. I'm glad you brought that up because people, and that's where I'm telling you, people assume that they're not eligible. They just assume they're not eligible. State that again. I think it's important to have them have that.
Did not have to serve in the war zone.
Right.
Just had to be on active duty during that time.
Wartime.
Correct. Okay. And also, more specifically, they also need to have some assistance. Now, we usually call these the activities of daily living. These are, transportation, meal preparation, continence issues, getting in and out of bed, mobility issues, those kinds of things. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean they can't do them at all. It
But
just means that they need some assistance.
See, that's the other distinction I think is important. People need to know, don't define for yourself what your situation is, find out.
Exactly, exactly. So also, if there's an issue with sight, blindness, and also any dementias or Alzheimer's or anything like that, those are other qualifiers.
Again, I hate to discuss it, but that's a reality when you're dealing with the aged population.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and just becomes more and more so as we live longer. It's
That's
just an issue.
That's the good news. We are living longer, but it does bring in some of these issues and challenges.
Absolutely. So that's the veteran. It is also available to the spouse of the veteran or the surviving spouse. So if a wife was married to a Korean War or World War II vet who has passed on, as long as they were married at the time of the veteran's passing, they may also qualify for the benefit for themselves.
See, that's again, a very important part of the benefit of this program is that it spreads out and it reaches more of those who are involved in that life. And I think that's the other thing I think is terribly important about having a program like this to share that information. Again, don't assume you're not qualified. Now, how does someone pursue that information? How do they find out about eligibility, whether they're in the program, what goes on there?
Okay, well, on the VA's website, there is some information on the pension itself. Now, keep in mind there are a number of different benefits and pensions available to veterans.
Right.
So, and one of the questions I often get is, well, can I qualify for the aid and attendance pension benefit in addition to another veteran's benefit?
Right.
And the answer is yes.
Yes.
Okay, they are not mutually exclusive at all times. Usually the best thing I tell people, because anybody who's been through this knows that it gets pretty complex, and especially for a senior citizen, assistance is usually a good thing to go through these, all this stack of paperwork and requirements for filing, because if anything, and one box isn't checked, one I isn't dotted, one T isn't crossed, that's it. It won't go forward.
And I think the other reason why I think we need to emphasize this to get help with this process is that, I'm talking about myself now, but I think it's true of a lot of folks, if it gets just frustrating enough, you'll just quit. Mm-hmm. You won't apply. That is a problem, don't you think?
It is, absolutely. Yeah. And one of the things I mentioned earlier that we've been working specifically on the aid and attendance benefit now for about a year. We put together a program that's actually available through our organization. We bring in veterans accredited agents, and we also have veterans accredited attorneys with us that assist any applicant who would like to go through and just make sure that that application, before it's sent off to the VA, is correct. So we essentially do everything to assist, walk everybody through it, and there is no charge for this. And by the way, there cannot be. Anybody who provides any assistance with an application cannot charge. And we hear stories of people who are charging for this assistance.
Right.
And that is illegal.
Can't do it.
You cannot do it.
Cannot do it.
No.
I have to say that there's a nice connection between Heart to Heart Companions, your agency, and the whole notion of this program, Aid and Attendance Pension Benefit, in that I like the fact that you're very aggressive in seeing how much service you can provide to the age population and certainly to veterans. That's something you must feel very good about.
Excellent. About 5 years ago, my dad passed away. He was a World War II vet, spent almost 4 years overseas.
Right.
And the last year and a half of his life, he was in a nursing home. Towards the end, yes, it was difficult, and my mom was not going to be able to take care of him. But had there been a program that they were aware of, and I had called the VA a number of times,
Right.
and this is just something, I was not aware of at that time. And I got the runaround. I never got clear answers. And so he had to leave his home maybe a number of months sooner
Right.
than he might have had he been able to qualify
get
for a
this kind of
program like this.
assistance, yeah.
And quite frankly, knowing what I know now and working with veterans now, he certainly would have qualified.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the information was hard to come by. So number one, we want to get the information out. Number two, anybody who wants more information, please contact us, call me.
I think that's probably the best solution, is go directly to your agency. Talk about your website again so they know how to get to you as well.
The website is www.heart2, the number 2, Heart Companions with an S,
yeah.
.com.
.com.
And right on the home page, you'll see a link. You just click on it, and it'll take you right to Brian Williams, NBC News,
Right.
A spot that he did on the aid and attendance benefit, so it gives a little more information.
That's how important it is to get the word out. If he's interested, there's a need out there.
It is estimated that no more than 25% of those who would qualify for the benefit are even aware that it exists.
Right.
So, this is something that
Now, that's really unacceptable.
absolutely.
Because the other part is, as you said, going through the process, if you don't have assistance with that process, God knows how many we're going to lose just by that alone, out of frustration.
That is correct.
The other thing is, Howard, and we're going to throw your name up there in lights so people can see it. Give us a local number they can reach you as
Sure.
well.
It's area code 518-649-6900.
Good.
518-649-6900. I just want to remember.
I was going to say, it'd be nice if you gave them the right number. You
That's
get
right.
Some dry cleaner somewhere. I really think it's very important for people to understand the importance of this program, first of all. And I want you to go over that again in a minute, to outline the program and what it provides. But two, we cannot forget our veterans. I think it's so easy when we have bad experiences, the Gulf Wars and the rest, or even back to Vietnam when I was in the military at that time. We want to get away from that environment, what we saw as very negative, very hurtful to the nation and the individuals involved. But with it, we tend to forget the vets. You know what I mean? Put them in the closet over here. We don't want to look at them anymore. It was a bad thing. That's really a very, very important aspect of this, isn't it?
That's right. It's to be honoring those who deserve the honor, who served the country, who answered the call.
Right.
And
Made the sacrifice.
that's right. And there are things that they have earned and that they deserve.
And they're entitled to, and they should know about it.
That's correct.
All right, I'm going to do it one more time because we have the time and the luxury to do it today.
Okay.
God knows we screwed your schedule up enough to get you in here. Let's start right with the name of the program, okay? And let's go through the program, what it provides, and how they get into the program and find out if they qualify. Let's do it again.
Okay. So we're talking about the Veterans Administration, the Aid and Attendance Pension Benefit. specifically for providing for funds to be available for caregivers so that you
Right.
can go and get a caregiver and have them provide assistance for either the veteran's spouse, or the surviving spouse.
See, I think that's very important. Not only the veteran spouse, or a surviving spouse are eligible.
Correct.
Okay.
And it will pay for as much as 20 hours a week of care.
That's significant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, it's important that the process is complex. There are physician statements required. Very often, there are fiduciary appointments by the Veterans Administration required. That's another issue, because sometimes the family, believes, well, the son or daughter might have power of attorney for mom or dad. Well, the Veterans Administration does not recognize power of attorney. They require their own appointment of a fiduciary. These are all things that we'll walk through with a potential applicant.
Right.
Sometimes people wonder, and I think you touched on this before, Jim, that, well, I don't know, I think maybe I make too much money, or maybe I have too many assets, because
Right.
there is a need base that's
Right.
associated with this program. However, there isn't a specific number. It's not like you can say, well, if I earn this amount, I'll qualify, and if I earn more than that amount, I won't.
Right.
It's essentially, if you're using much of your income to provide for various types of medical care, and that can include your Medicare deductions,
Right.
that can include your Medicare premiums, the Part B, the Part D, that can include supplemental insurance, that can include prescription drug copay. All of those things could go in the mix. So somebody could be earning $1,000 a month and not have any medical needs
Right.
at all. Well, they may not qualify.
Right.
And somebody could be earning $3,000 or $4,000 a month and have very significant needs, and they may qualify. So you brought up before, don't try to do your self-analysis.
Don't assume you're not qualified. Pursue it and find out.
Exactly. Probably in 20 minutes, I can work with a family and be able to tell someone whether there is a chance that they would qualify. Then we assist from there with getting all the particulars. Before we have the packet ready to go to VA, they're qualified.
Right.
We know they're qualified.
Right.
We have no question about it.
Right.
And one of the things that we do that's different than the VA is that once we know they're qualified and the packet is off to the VA, we'll begin care immediately, instead of having to wait on average 4 to 9 months.
So Howard, I like that we had a little hiccup right in the middle of this. It makes it seem more real and not so stiff. But we're talking about qualifying for this benefit. And Heart to Heart Companions, your agency that provides these services, once they're funded, helps with that process, but you do not charge. What's in it for you?
Okay, well, ultimately, of course, we are hopeful that we will be the agency, because we understand, we know the family, and we've worked with the family, that the veterans' benefit is paying for the care.
Right.
What we are is a caregiving agency.
Right, so it's a
we're
win-
paid by the veterans.
It's a
agency.
win-win-win. But what I like about it is I don't want somebody to have to go through this process. And then when they get done, you say, I'm glad we could help you. Now go find an agency. They won't have to do that. And as you said, you've gotten to know them. They've gotten to know you. I just think that works very, very well.
And it's one of the reasons we can start the care immediately. One, we understand, we know exactly what's required to qualify. So when we have that packet ready to go, we know they're qualified. We're
Right.
99.9% positive.
Right.
So we start the care immediately. Also, we can start the care immediately because we know exactly what's needed for
Right.
the family and the vet or the
Right.
spouse.
So you've solved their question of what they need. At the same time, you know they're qualified, so you can provide that and worry about the billing later.
Correct,
That,
exactly.
I don't think you can have a better situation than that. I really like that a lot. Give me the name of that program again.
It's the Aid and Attendance Pension Benefit. And it is, as we've said before, available in addition to other pension benefits. So oftentimes we'll talk to a vet and say, well, I already get a pension, so I guess I wouldn't qualify for another one.
Not true.
Not true.
Find out.
Yeah, that's
Find
the
out.
best thing we can always say.
It
Give a
really is.
call, we'll talk. In 20 minutes, we'll know whether there's a chance or not. I just had a conversation last week. A fellow's mom surviving spouse of a World War II vet, 97 years old. She's in an independent living facility. God bless her at 97.
Yeah. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So when we're able to help her too. So it's terrific. It's a terrific program.
Once again, the qualifier, they have to have served in?
They had to have served on active duty, and it's not entirely. I mean, somebody could have been a reservist and been called up to active duty.
And that makes it active duty.
That's right. So it just during time of war, they had to serve as on active duty, and they did not have to be in the war zone, just during time of war. And the basic time of wars, of course, for our era would be, because it's 65 years and older, would traditionally be World War II veterans or spouses, Korean War veterans or spouses, and Vietnam War.
Right.
Although the Gulf conflict would qualify. It is considered a time of war, and actually that started in 91, and there has not been a definitive end date yet, interestingly. Congress makes up these dates, and as of now, the Gulf War has not had an end date.
Interesting.
Kind of a interesting or sad
Howard
commentary.
Goldson, thanks so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you, Jim.
Well, anytime you provide services to vets, as far as we're concerned, you're one of the good guys. We appreciate that. Heart to Heart Companions in Coxsackie. Your phone number?
518-649-6900.
All right. Give us the website again.
www.heartcompanions.com.
Appreciate that. Howard, again, thanks so much.
Thank you, Jim. It's a pleasure seeing you again.
And we want to thank you for joining us. Join people like Howard and myself as we do these stories, not only about vets, but the kind of services that are available for vets so that we can help make those things possible for our veterans. We want to honor them always. Thanks so much for joining us.
Many people do not know about the Veterans Aid and Attendance Benefit Program. Do you? If you're a veteran or their surviving spouse, you may be eligible for the VA pension program, which can provide you up to 20 hours of weekly personal care for free. Heart to Heart Companions can guide you through the process. Once qualified, their certified senior care managers will customize a plan for your unique needs. Call Heart to Heart Companions and get started.
Sync features which I was looking for.
The sync features. Let's go talk to someone in the service department. What kind of cars do you work on?
Fords, Subarus, Chevys.
So basically anything with four wheels, right?
Absolutely.
I got a go-kart needs tune-up.
Bring it in. We can do it.
I'm Ron Teeter, owner of Crossroads Ford. You gotta give us a try.
I remember the moment clearly.
I'll never forget that moment.
As long as I live.
I realized at that moment, when we first saw the damage, these people really needed us. And I was going to make a difference, right here in my community. Together with local responders, we cleared trees and collapsed walls. We had to get to the family trap beneath. As a citizen soldier, I made a difference.
Be there for your community at NationalGuard.com.